Um, this is a 14-minute video. It's not very long. Amy Robinson. Um, this is another one of these family vlogger channels who apparently is getting nervous because if the family vlogger channels are under high scrutiny right now, that's going to be hard for them, right? But what she just came across here is fucking shocking. Because, there's been a lot of speculation over the last couple of months. Yeah, it's been about 2 months now since they were arrested, and people have been speculating that Ruby and Jody had some sort of romantic or sexual relationship. Apparently, this was written into her contract. This is amazing to me, you guys. This is, this is amazing to me. Therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, doctors, they're not allowed to cross that boundary. And this was like in fucking writing, and probably hundreds of adults actually read this contract. Oh my god. I can't even, you guys. Let's cover the whole video.
She had said in the event that she feels like YouTube is a family business, and if the kids don't help with the family business or be vlogged, then she doesn't buy them anything. We did not know at the time that meant food.
So Shelley from Crazy Middles was doing a assumptions video where she mentioned the 8 passengers and details that she's actually had run-ins with Ruby Franke herself, the 8 passengers, at conventions. And after speaking with her and after Ruby was, chatting to other people, they had to unfollow them because they were basically informed of the fact that Ruby thinks and was thinking of 8 passengers like a bitch.
Her husband needs to work on his smile. You gotta figure out a more natural smile than that. You gotta work on your smile, dude. The thing that Amy does not mention here is that this particular woman who does Crazy Middles has also stated that she doesn't force her kids to be in the videos with her. That if they happen to want to walk into the screen, if they want to talk on the screen, it's not a thing where she is, as far as she has stated on one of the other videos that I saw, she says that their participation is not mandatory, and they don't, like, if they want to walk in to the frame, that's on them. But it's not quite the same thing as sticking a camera in the kids' faces, trying to embarrass them, trying to expose their private moments. But all I can do is go based on what she said on this other video that I saw.
Business, and if the kids wouldn't cooperate, they wouldn't be allowed things, materialistic things. We now know that it runs a lot deeper than that. But she was also telling other people at the function, friends of theirs, that it would extend as far that Ruby wouldn't give them food. Now, we know that this is a pattern of behaviour. We have seen clips of Ruby saying, if you don't tidy up, I'm not going to feed you any breakfast. If you don't do this, I'm not going to feed you. It's happened multiple times, and we've seen it, and it's all been dragged to the surface now. So it's hardly surprising, but it is always a little bit strange hearing other family vloggers discuss other family vloggers when there has been, an air of controversy in this case.
Well, especially family vloggers, like, even if they are appearing of their own volition, you still should be paying them because they're helping to bump your channel by being on screen. So I certainly hope that some legislation gets passed to make sure that the children of these channels get compensated.
It goes further, way past the line of controversy. This was an extremely horrific case, and it still continues to be. So I do find it quite interesting when, you know, family vloggers will say as much as they can about things without really going into full detail, like she did before she answered this question. She said that she was actually going to put out a video detailing more about I don't know, whatever it was about Ruby Franke, about the 8 passengers case. But then she decided not to go through with it because the video would be too controversial. And I'm not really sure what that means.
This might be one that I have to pass on. What is it? You had strong feelings about 8 passengers case. Oh.
Now, keep this in mind, I don't know tons about this family, although I have been asked to cover them numerous times. I will get there. I really don't know a lot about them. But I do know that some people have very strong opinions against this family, like many do about many family vloggers. I've been asked to cover them. I just haven't got round to it. But what is a bit confusing is that why wouldn't you want to talk about this? I mean, everyone...
Well, because there might be some legal liabilities. There might be some concerns here.
It seems like everyone on YouTube is giving their own opinions. And unless you were friends with Ruby at one point in time or something a bit like that, I don't understand why you wouldn't want to speak on this subject. That is a bit, of course you don't have to, but it was the way that she...
Because there's the whole question right now about child exploitation. So yeah, they're probably a little freaked out about whether or not this particular case is going to impact them.
Was kind of going, I kind of want to pass on this one. Why? It should just be a simple way to answer this. Most people are dead against, if not everyone is dead against what happened and what is continuing to happen with Ruby. So why wouldn't you want to answer it?
I do have very strong feelings about that. Crystal and I both have very strong feelings about that. And we did a video for Crazy Mom Hustle, but I felt like it was so controversial.
Yeah,
is that what I want to say? That we decided to ultimately not put out that video.
Now, would she not want to cover it and she wouldn't want to post this video because they are also a family channel and they know that a majority of the people covering...
Dude needs to learn how to smile because, alright, I mean, come on, dude. You can't be smiling like that. Like, okay.
8 passengers case. A lot of the people aren't really for family channels to begin with. I might be wrong there, but most people who I've seen commenting on this are also not in favour of family vloggers. Is this the reason why she thinks that people wouldn't want to hear what she has to say about it? I'm not insinuating in any way, shape or form that she is as bad as Ruby Franke. That's not what I'm insinuating because I don't know this channel, but I'm just saying that I feel like that probably is the reasoning why people are side-eyeing family vloggers hard. But you know, if she has had private conversations with Ruby or, you know, she has an insider knowledge, then I think people would want to hear what she has to say. But of course she's going to have that backlash of, well, you also exploit your kids. So there's that.
But I do have very strong feelings. There was a time that we were at the same event with her and she had said in the event that she feels like YouTube is a family business, and if the kids don't help with the family business or be vlogged, then she doesn't buy them anything. We did not know at the time that meant food as well.
Well, that wasn't even said to us. That was said to friends of ours.
Yeah,
so
that were at the event with us. Yeah.
But,
Crystal and I were not happy about that because that is the wrong way to go about this. And so we went home and immediately unfollowed her. And then Crystal, I was okay on my side, but Crystal got a lot of hate for unfollowing her. But yeah, we do have strong feelings. That's all
yes,
I'm going to say
very much
about
so.
that.
Now, of course, like I just said, she doesn't have to say anything she doesn't want to, but I feel like she's keeping some stuff back. And is she scared of having backlash of people literally going, well, you also film your children? She has a lot of children as well. I believe it literally says like 21 kids in there as well. Some are adopted. I think it's a mixture, if I've got that right. Like I say, I don't follow this family, but I don't know, if I feel like it would be a really simple answer to say yes or no, and the way that she's kind of caging over.
Yeah, but Amy, she might be a witness. If she's gone to conventions with her, she networks within the same vlogger community, she may actually have information for the sheriff or the PD, whoever's handling the case right now. And so, or the district attorney, right? So it's possible that she has two concerns here. She may be feeling like, oh shit, I'm also doing a family vlogger channel. Are people going to come down on me for how many kids I have in my house, right? And whether or not I'm treating them well. Are we going to see like a mass exodus of social workers coming down on the family vlogger channels, which, by the way, should happen? Should absolutely, with the amount of child abuse we've seen in the news this year, they should absolutely be doing this. Even with like the boy in the box story, that is so crazy. And that guy's about to get sentenced and he looks like he's already on death's door. I don't care, dude. You put your boy in a box with a bucket in complete darkness. Good riddance.
Over there, she's a bit sneaky suspicious to me. I don't mean it in like a really bad way. I'm just saying, like, she obviously doesn't want to have people coming after her being like, well, you exploit your children online, you're a family channel, blah. So she's not going to give that much information away. But yeah, I mean, I'm on the side of, I don't feel like kids should be put out on the internet to the capacities that a lot of these channels are. I don't like it when kids are daily filmed. Kids can't consent, and we all know that. And the people that say, oh, well, the kids are happy, it's not about that. Like, you're using your kids to make money, and you're ripping them away from their childhood in that element. You know, if you were one of the kids that grew up and had a camera in their face ever since you were born, you don't get a choice in that. You haven't had a choice. You might be able to grow up and say, I regret having myself put online because I can't decide.
We're coming up on the excerpt that she pulls out of Jodi's contract. And I want you to pay attention very closely to this particular segment. Because obviously her entire therapy was supposedly religious-based. She was deeply connected into the LDS Church. She was subsidized by them. She got recommendations for people to attend her treatment from them. She got recommendations to do corporate trainings from LDS leaders. So I want you to take a look at this clause very closely.
I am, but by that point, the damage is already done, and that's kind of the way that I feel about it, especially as at the minute more people keep on coming out and saying that being filmed every day and being made to, you know, be a part of a family channel and make the money is a lot of pressure, and like I say, you have your privacy ripped away from you at a very, very, very young age. Now, I was having a little snoop on the 8 Passengers Reddit page, and on there, someone had been able to dig up the...
I agree to have no sexual contact. Take a look at this clause.
Like the rules that they used to have during the therapy sessions with connections. And this is just a little bit of it, but I just wanted to give it a little read because some of these, particularly the last one, are really quite interesting. They go through, I don't know how many times I have to hear the words, like uncomfortable coming from Ruby and Jody in terms of their techniques, or just in terms of like how they treat their kids. They don't mind it if their kids feel uncomfortable, which we have heard Ruby Frankie say quite a few times. But I'll just give this a little read for you guys because, yeah, I don't know. I just found it quite interesting, but I found this over on the Reddit page. The first one is, I agree to have no sexual contact with other team members. Exceptions apply only to those whose legal spouses are also participating in other team meetings. I understand if I violate this condition, I will be required to discontinue participation in team meetings. Doesn't this...
Let me tell you how that can be interpreted to her benefit, to Jody's benefit. You can have no sexual contact unless you have a legal spouse, right, in the program with you. But at the same time, Jody is separating these couples. So she's telling the men that they are deviant, they're sexual deviants, and they have to leave the home and have a very extended period of separation from their wives. But the way that is written invites a situation where if there's an exception to it, that exception can be for Jody to have sexual relations with whoever she chooses, whether it be a wife or a husband in the program. That is how it can be read.
Just like go without saying, has this happened before? I feel like this literally just goes without saying. The way that I interpret this is they're basically saying you cannot have sexual contact / relations with anyone that is not your spouse. But does this not just go without saying? Has this happened before in one of their little team thingies? Like, I think it's just the really... Unless it says that in a lot of, kind of counselling group sessions. I've never been to one before. Like, if you go, like group sessions. I've done like therapy one-on-one before, but I've never done it within a group. I don't know. I just thought maybe that would go without saying.
No, but that's not what it says. It doesn't say that the sexual relationships have to be with the spouse. It just says that you are only allowed to do it if you have a spouse in the program. Okay? That is a very broad description, which, by the way, was completely inappropriate. It's not up to her to tell grown adults how they conduct their sexual lives, right? But she opens up this idea that you can have sex with me because you have a spouse in the program, right? Right? I'm the leader of the program, so this is all good. It's good. It is broad enough for that to happen.
But yeah, I thought that was a little bit strange. I commit to abstinence from all addictions. Now, we know that if you don't have an addiction, Jody will literally give you one.
Right.
She used to say, past clients have come out and literally said that Jody would basically convince them that they had a porn addiction or they had a sex addiction, when in actuality it wasn't any of those things at all. But they did used to run, like addiction workshops and all of this kind of stuff. It's one of the things that Jody used to specialize in, therapy for addictions. And yeah, like I said, if you didn't have an addiction, she would basically give you one. I feel like she could be a bit more specific there. And when I say she'd give you one, I don't mean quite literally. I mean that she would basically convince you that you had a addiction to, a sex addiction, even though you didn't, and people have come out and said this. And the last one is, I understand team training is intense and uncomfortable. I commit to being responsible for my own emotions. I hold the team members and trainers harmless for any discomfort in the team meetings. Now, okay.
So if somebody abuses me within your program, I can't. There's no HR department. That's lovely. Thanks, Jody. Okay.
We now know, of course, from past clients that Jody would make you feel extremely uncomfortable, and a lot of people would just leave because they didn't like the way that Jody would make them feel. And loads of people have come out now, and if they haven't come out publicly via video, they've also just come out on the Connections reviews, which you can go and have a little look at. You can still have a little look at. In fact, you can still book Jody. I'm pretty sure she still comes up where you can still pay for her classes. Now, I'm not sure she would, of course, carry on doing her classes and things. I don't think she'd even be allowed to if they did get out on bail. The jury is still out with that one. We're not sure.
Well, she turned over her therapist license, so yeah, she can't do shit.
Whether or not that's going to be a thing, because I don't think there's been another court date that's come round just yet. But I don't think she'll even be able to continue counselling anyway. So I don't know. And I'm sure that as soon as she gets out, she's going to have to try and take down her counselling way of being able to join and pay on her website. But what I will say is that for them to be like,
hey Pam, you're the president of Connections. Why is the website still up? You know these two women are going to get charged. You know that they're going to be sentenced. They're not coming back for a long time. Why is the website still up?
We do not take any liability. We take no responsibility for the fact that you might feel, bad, extremely uncomfortable. And I do get that obviously therapy sessions, I've done one-on-one. They don't make you feel great the very first couple of sessions. You then get into it. I know that there's different therapies for different reasonings. But I do understand that some of it is not a very comfortable process. But by the sounds of it, some of these people that went through her courses and went through her sessions really did come out the other end a hell of a lot worse off than they did going in. And a lot of them didn't even have a marriage to go back to anyway, because Jody managed to convince the women to leave the man and, separate him from herself and the kids. And this is a pattern of behavior. So for her to basically say, you cannot hold any of us responsible for the way that you feel. Honestly, the psychology behind them should really be looked into, because like I say, the situation is horrific. The actual cause of events have been unbelievably horrifying, but the psychology behind it is very interesting, and I've always said that, and I think that is what makes this case quite unique, because there's loads of different layers to it, especially when you take into account the Connections classroom and how Jody would operate, and then how Ruby and Jody would operate once Ruby got on board with it. So yeah, and that even comes down to their rules on their website. So I just think that was interesting. I just wanted to share it with you guys. I do think, though, especially when we're talking about Crazy Middles and other family vloggers, I think that a lot of them are quite scared to speak out because they know that there is a huge backlash going on right now of family vloggers, just, as I feel like there should be. I'm not comparing Crazy Middles to 8 Passengers by any means, but I'm just saying that I think the reason why a lot of them will not speak out is because they are worried for the negativity. They're worried for the pushback, especially if they have affiliated themselves with them. And I just think it's a bit of a cop-out, to be honest. If you have got strong feelings about this, like she says, then I feel like you should just come out and say it, not kind of dancing around it. Are you worried that your income will diminish because you speak out against another? I don't know. I'd find it really...
I mean, it's possible that they have some crossover viewership, but I think this is far more about being scared about getting sued, being scared about being pulled into a situation where they're going to have social workers in the house every day. I think that's where their fears are coming from, is that anytime you exploit children for bucks, it's already tenuous. And the fact that they knew her personally through these conventions is probably even more nerve-wracking for them.
I don't know. I find it really hard to imagine why anyone would be cagey about answering a question like that, but that is just me.
Okay, this might be one that I have to pass on.
I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch up with you guys in the next video.